Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Bible Explained. I'm your host, the Great Oracle, and today we're diving into one of the most fascinating and foundational passages in the book of Genesis. In this episode, we will explore the creation of humans and the significance of rest, covering Genesis chapter 2, verses 1 to 25. So let's get into it. In the grand narrative of the Bible, the book of Genesis introduces us to the origins not just of our world, but of humanity itself. It's like a preface to the entire human experience as perceived through the lens of this sacred text. In our last episode, we discussed the creation of the heavens and the earth, wrapping up with the sixth day. In this episode, we'll explore not only the creation of man and woman, but also the profound significance of the seventh day, the Sabbath. So, start with Genesis 2, 1-3. These first few verses set a tone of completion and rest. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array. By the seventh day God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day he rested from all his work. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. Here, what stands out is the concept of rest after a period of labor. Modern society often glorifies constant work without taking breaks. But this ancient wisdom tells us that rest is not only acceptable but sacred. God himself rested, making the seventh day holy. This not only highlights the importance of rest, but sanctifies it. As we move forward to Genesis 2, 4-7, the focus shifts to the creation of humanity in a more detailed manner. This is the account of the heavens and the earth when they were created, when the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. Now no shrub had yet appeared on the earth, and no plant had yet sprung up. For the Lord God had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no one to work the ground, but streams came up from the earth and watered the whole surface of the ground. Then the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. Notice the intimate details here. God forms man from the dust of the ground. It's a reminder of our humble origins, connecting us to the very earth beneath our feet. But what's profoundly moving is the breath of life. God breathes life directly into the man, signifying an intimate relationship between the Creator and humanity. We are not just physical beings, we are also imbued with the Spirit. Then we move to Genesis 2, 8-14, where the Garden of Eden is introduced. Now the Lord God had planted a garden in the east, in Eden, and there he put the man he had formed. The Lord God made all kinds of trees grow out of the ground, trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. In the middle of the garden were the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. A river watering the garden flowed from Eden. From there it was separated into 4 headwaters. The name of the first is the Pishon. It winds through the entire land of Havilah, where there is gold. The gold of that land is good. Aromatic resin and onyx are also there. The name of the second river is the Gihon. It winds through the entire land of Cush. The name of the third river is the Tigris. It runs along the east side of Ashur. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. The imagery here paints Eden as a place of abundance and beauty, a divine paradise. Trees pleasing to the eye and good for food suggest that this garden meets both our aesthetic and practical needs. It's significant that the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil are named specifically. They will play crucial roles later on. Next, we come to Genesis 2, 15-17, where man receives his first commandments. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. And the Lord God commanded the man, "You are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will certainly die." Here, we see the first instance of divine law. While God provides abundance, he also sets boundaries. Humans are given freedom, but within certain limits. This duality of freedom and restriction is a timeless aspect of the human experience. How many of you have pondered the balance of enjoying life's pleasures while adhering to moral or ethical boundaries? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Moving on to Genesis 2:18-20. The Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." Now the Lord God had formed out of the ground all the wild animals and all the birds in the sky. He brought them to the man to see what he would name them, and whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. So the man gave names to all the livestock, the birds in the sky, and all the wild animals. But for Adam, no suitable helper was found. This section introduces a significant motif in the Bible: companionship. The phrase, "It is not good for the man to be alone," speaks volumes about the importance of relationships and community. Even in paradise, isolation is not ideal. God's effort in creating animals and bringing them to Adam to name illustrates the active participation of humanity in the world. Naming the animals signifies a kind of authority and stewardship over creation. Genesis 2:21-25 describes the creation of the first woman. So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, and while he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs and then closed up the place with flesh. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man. The man said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man." That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. Adam and his wife were both naked, and they felt no shame. The creation of Eve from Adam's rib emphasizes the connectivity and equality between man and woman. They are distinct, yet fundamentally part of each other, reflecting the idea of partnership and unity. Adam's declaration, "Bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh," poetically encapsulates this fundamental bond. The passage concludes by indicating that in their original state, they were unashamed, innocent, and pure in their existence. Throughout Genesis 2, we see foundational themes that resonate deeply with us today: the necessity of rest, the sanctity of life, the blend of freedom and responsibility, and the profound value of companionship and unity. These ancient texts offer wisdom that applies to our modern lives, reminding us of our roots and guiding us towards a more balanced and fulfilling existence. So there you have it, friends, a captivating look at the creation of humans and the significance of rest, as told in Genesis chapter 2. What are your thoughts? Have you ever felt the divine need for a day of rest or experienced the joy of deep companionship? Let's continue this conversation in the comments. And don't forget to join us for our next episode, where we'll dive into Genesis chapter 3, where we explore the infamous story of the fall of man. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss it. Thank you for watching Bible Explained. Until next time, this is the Great Oracle, signing off.